is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirt, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going on. What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with that analysis on Daniel. He's an interesting prospect. I've been watching some footage and listening to some other people on him. Has improved from his freshman year to his sophomore year, adding more moves, being more confident. A guy that you can throw the basketball to and he can get you a bucket. And that was very important because he was efficient as a post player, showed potential as a three-point shooter, 37% from three, which is above average slightly. But for a big, that's what he's going to have to do mainly anyway in the NBA. Shown that he can face up a little bit, especially from the 15 and the low end, and got confidence and swagger in his mid-range jumper. Not only that, 67% free throw shooter, but I look at it, if he can improve his overall shooting, I don't see why he can't become a better free throw shooter. One thing that's interesting about him is that he can be a shot blocker too. Not the greatest shot blocker, but he can be interesting at the NBA level. Legitimate 240 is what I heard that his weight is, and he doesn't look like he's fat. He doesn't look like it's too big. He actually wears it pretty well. Good mobility to me also, and you want that type of strength coming into the NBA. And I think it is some teams that can use him if he can, transition into the NBA game, because there's a lot of things that's going to change with him taking a chance going to the league. Some people have him within that top 15 lottery. Some people have him outside of the lottery, 15 through 25. And it's all because of the modern day game. A lot of teams back then, he probably would be a top 3, top 5 pick, and we're talking 15, 20 years ago. Now he's a guy that may not even go to the lottery, that has the talent of a lottery player because of his skill set, and you know that he's a guy that loved the game and enjoyed the game because he had a drastic improvement in his sophomore year. That showed that he wanted it. That showed that he would do what he has to do to get the job done to make his dream come true and get drafted and have a chance to play in the NBA. And I love those guys that challenge themselves, put it on themselves to critique their game, to improve their game, and be hungry enough to do it. And I'm impressed with that, to have the type of improvement that he had from high school to freshman to sophomore. It just shows you that he has that mentality that he can do it. And you have to have that mentality. But not only that, he did it efficiently. Like I said, efficient from the floor, efficient from three, and decent for a center from the free throw line. So I like what he's about. I like his game. Very tough player to guard because he can get up in you. Something that a lot of people don't bring up about him is that he's patient a little bit to me. Yeah, he might turn the ball over a little bit more. I mean, a little bit too much. But at the same time, he just now became a great offensive guy that you can throw the ball to consistently, and he can get you a high quality shot. It's an adjustment period. Just learning how to post up is one thing, but knowing the counters and knowing the moves, that's a whole nother level of posting up. And I think that that's something he's trying to figure out. But even when he gets the ball turned over, or even when he's in the post, he still try to get the shots that he wants, get the shots that he can get. And sometimes that's how you eat as a big man. Getting the ball, knowing when to go for hook, knowing when to go for running hook, knowing when to spin and lay it, knowing when to spin and dunk, knowing when to go up strong, knowing when to use the backboard to protect you from getting blocked. Those are high IQ things that can make you an efficient player in the league, but it also can make you a guy that your teammates trust. And he was a guy that if you dump it off, he could just get it and go up. He was able to have those hands where he can grab the passes, he can grab it low, and he can just grab it and just finish. And he can just grab it and go straight up. And those are the big men you love playing with, just because you know they can get the job done if they get the ball. You know what they're capable of. But not only that, he's still young and he's still growing. And the NBA is going to challenge him. He's going to have to get reset. He's going to have a different mentality. He's going to have a different idea because these guys are now just as big as you. They probably might be a little bit more athletic. They're going to be prepared for you, and they have the wingspan and the length to contain you. So it's going to be another growth spurt and another experience in this rookie season. If he does get a lot of minutes, depending on what team he goes to, he's going to have to readjust, re amplify his game, and then he's gonna have to relearn how to post all over again just because you at the NBA. The coach is gonna be double teaming you. They're gonna be he's seen that in college, but it's different when guys are bigger. Guys can cover more space. Guys can reach in a little bit more if you're trying to turn or if you're trying to move. You're trying to focus on one-on-one. Guys now can come over to reach and grab you. They can come in and foul you before you even go up, and those guys are strong enough to make sure you don't finish. So he's going to have to relearn a lot of these things. He's going to have to continue to grow. He's going to continue to learn, but he has shown that he's willing and he wants to do that anyway because he wouldn't be in that position without him developing into what he is right now, which is a quality NBA player. Now, one of the biggest criticisms that I see a lot of people talking about is his fit in the league. And like I started the video off, 15 to 25 range is crazy considering his talents and what he can do right now as a player going into the draft. And he's a very skilled big, and that's important in today's game, especially if you want to play in certain conferences because bigs are coming back. They might not be the dynamic, dominant bigs, but a lot of these teams are going with bigs for the rebound and the rim protection and for a little offense. And he can give you some rim protection. He can give you offensive and defensive rebounds. He can hit the mid range, like I said before. He can hit some threes from time to time, especially if they're open and set. And that's important. And that's what he was able to get in his game. And now it's just about relearning, settling down, and taking your time in the game. And it's harder to be patient in the NBA because you have to get adjusted to the players. You have to get adjusted to how the coaches are going to defend you. And you just have to, really just sit down and just watch a lot of footage so that way you don't make the same mistakes consistently throughout the year. So I'm liking what he brings to the table. I like him as a player. I like his mentality of getting better and pushing yourself and betting on yourself. And he embodied everything that you want in the guy that you want on your team that you feel a lottery pick is. And even though it is interesting to see where he's going to go because that he is a center, it's unfortunate that we look at players like that now. We don't look at players of what they bring to the table. We don't look at players of how they really can contribute to the game. We look at them positionally to fit this type of style, to play this type of way. You're going to have to change him as a player, and he did make himself able to adapt as a modern day player, but it's just a whole different game at the NBA level, and he's going to see that for himself when he gets there. Now, what everybody want to know, where should he go in the NBA draft? And I got a couple of spots that can utilize him. The Charlotte Hornets, I don't know if they want to take him that high. They took a guy like Frank Kaminsky, a guy that can post and spread out the floor. He didn't really get to where we wanted him to go. I think Daniel was a different type of player, even though they had similar games, and he is a little younger. But he can go to Charlotte, and I can see him being a guy that can give them something they don't really have, and he can have some upside up there too, as he has shown that he has the work ethic to challenge himself. I know a lot of people like him in Miami. I don't really see Pat Riley picking them just because they all into Bam right now, and they already have other bigs on their team that can do similar things for around the same price range you're going to pay. But if they want to go in a different direction, go with somebody that's a little younger, but they're going to have to bring along, then Daniel can be their guy. And the only reason why I brought up the Heat, because that's a popular place for him to go. I like the Wizards for him. I feel like the Wizards are a team that can use a good big. And for him to be able to play with guys like John Wall and Bradley Beal that can handle the ball and create, and all he has to really do is worry about finishing and punishing switches from time to time, I think the Wizards could be a good pickup for him. I also like certain teams like the Pelicans. I think the Pelicans, if they don't want to get Derek Favors or he want to go in a different direction, you can pick up a guy like Daniel, and he can be pretty solid for them. They had Okafor, but I think Daniel just a little bit more mobile, a little bit more versatile offensively, as you see in college, and he can be a good, solid pickup for the price range, and he can be on a long-term commitment. Plus, he can grow with Ingram and Zion and those type of guys. Plus, he can play with Zion because he can space out the floor, but he also can rebound and protect the paint. If Zion is on the other side of the post or he's trying to attack, they can still clear out another side, and Daniel can still be a threat from rolling to the basket, knocking down mid-range, knocking down threes, and they can always throw him the ball in the post, and he can get a quality shot. As he continues to develop, getting used to the NBA speed and game, he can be a valuable player for them too. So it's some interesting spots for him. Even like the Pistons, they can take whatever they can take, and if they're not going to go with Don McCarr and they got rid of Drummond, it'd be good to pick up a guy of his caliber, even if he can get picked up later in the draft if he's still on the board. I can see them taking a shot at him, depending on what they're going to do with Blake. But still, this is a guy that can score and bring a lot of things to the table. And I can see some teams trading down and possibly trying to bolster their bench or add another quality player to their team, and he can be one of those guys that you may not get high in the draft. You may not want to take that gamble, but if he falls in your lap or he's available, you're not ashamed to take him because you know what he brings to the table and you know what he's good at, and you know that he's willing to put in the work to continue to get better, and he wants to do it anyway, which is an important key because a lot of players don't put in the work and you don't really see the growth and development or the rapid improvement like you see with him, which is very, very good for a team, especially when you get a guy like him. I like what he brings to the table. I like his attitude. I like his punch. I like the fact that he comes in and grabs those boards. I like that he goes up strong. I like that he can finish with little hook shots, push shots. He can spin, dunk. He's not even scared of contact. And those are things. And he got an NBA ready body, 240. He got an NBA ready body and legitimate size. So that's another thing that NBA organizations look for too in the big. So he got it all figured out. He got the mentality. He got the work ethic. He got the skill level. He just got to continue to work on it, polish it up, and try to maximize it and become elite in certain areas at the NBA level, not the college or high school level, because he's going to this level now since he entered the draft. But he's a player that could be a sleeper pick. I'm not saying nothing that's new or crazy. He's a guy that could either go in that top 14 lottery, or he's a guy that can go mid to the draft, early second round type of pick, and guys will be happy that they got him just because of his skill set and what he brings to the table at his age and coming out of college. So it's going to be interesting keeping the lock on this guy and seeing where he goes and seeing if a team can really get a quality player that can come in and produce as a starter or off the bench. And that's the biggest criticism for him right now. Is he a legitimate starter? Will he ever be a starter? And will a team even look at him as a starter in the NBA, as a lot of bigs are now becoming contracted players and not too many teams are desperate for bigs at this point. So he got a couple areas he can go to in the lottery. Outside of that, it looked like he might be coming off the bench, and he looks like that's going to be totally different than college, as you getting the ball every possession or a lot of times throughout the game. He might not get that in the NBA, and most likely he won't. So going from being the man to being a role player is going to be tough, but welcome to reality. This is the business of the game. This is how the game is ran. There's a lot of players that come in as the man, like Devin on his team. He might not be starting either, and if he does start, he ain't going to have the same role that he had in Florida, which both of them might have that same thing in common, and it'll give them something to call and talk about on the phone, as they will have to get used to that at the NBA level. Both of those guys, I look at role players. I don't look at them as the best player on the team, even though I like both of them. So I'm going to throw that out there. But you can't really turn down a quality big with legitimate size and the right mentality, and the right team can take them, and they'll be happy with what they get. Other than that, check out my website, analysisplayground.com, link in the description comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com, link in the description comment section below. Like on Facebook, like the video if you liked it already. Thanks for the love and support. If you haven't, like and share. Other than that, I made videos just like this, discussions. I also made breakdowns of players, rookies, and legends. Not only that, cover Summer League, cover the regular season, playoff predictions. Also got you a trade deadline and free agency. So if you love basketball, you can't live without it. This is the channel for you because I try to make a video every single day. Not only that, I'm done with the video. Thanks for the love, support. Hope you guys enjoy your weekend and your holiday, and enjoy the rest of your day as I'm hitting y'all early with the video. But like y'all always do. Y'all love, appreciate it, watch it anyway. So it's gonna come out real early in the morning. But as long as y'all get it, as long as y'all watch it, we all good. Quinn Wade, basketball analysis. I'm done.